Shalom. Want to start giving all praises due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, and respect and charity to all those teachers and up-and-coming disciples out there pushing this word with sincerity and truth, and judging in pure righteousness, according to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. This is meditation on one of the laws in Exodus chapter 20, verse 15. Thou shalt not steal. Now, we know that thou shalt not steal, meaning you don't take any man's possession. You don't go in his house, or you don't steal something from his house. You don't steal money from his house. You don't do anything like that. But when you look deeper into the word, into that word steal, it also goes into the word to deceive. So that's like two folds, because when you're talking about not stealing, and then you look into that word, it goes into deceive. That's one of the synonyms to that. Cinnamon words to that, which is deceive. And deceiving a person could also mean, misleading them, guiding them the wrong way, in the wrong direction. And I always like to use this illustration. One of the illustrations that I like to use coming up in the 1990s and 80s, by 1980, like in the 85 and 90, a lot of old G's, that was established in wickedness, like with drugs. And then you had young brothers coming up, they was hungry, because they, at that time, their mother was on, crack was that high epidemic, and a lot of ghettos, because I really was raised, I lived in Brooklyn a couple of years, like 10, but from maybe like 11 to like 12 or 13 or 14, I was raised in Brooklyn, but I lived in Crown Heights, but we used to have to travel to go to, I used to go to a junior high school at Fort Greene Projects. So anyway, and during that time, the crack was heavy out there, and when brothers were starving, your mother was probably doing social service, food stamps, but the food stamps didn't last that long to feed you. So anyway, to get to the point, the old G's used to give brothers packages, and have them sell for them on the corner, hold crack in their ass and shit like that, which niggas do today as well. And that's misleading them. That's misleading them. That's deceiving them. So stealing also connects to deceiving. Okay? And let me give you Leviticus 19:11, according to the law as well. Leviticus 19:11. And it reads, Ye shall not steal, neither deal falsely, neither lie one to another. So that's another twofold. Read that again. You should not steal, neither deal falsely. Dealing falsely is deceiving a brother. Okay? Dealing falsely is lying, misusing a brother. You know what I'm saying? Guiding him the wrong way. Giving bad examples to him. So if he's looking up to you, what is he going to do? He's going to follow those bad examples. Like they say, like father, like son. If your son is growing up and he's seen a father constantly in jail or constantly doing wicked shit, he's going to carry out those things because he's going to think that's the right way to do. That's the right example. So thou shalt not steal, according to the law, is also deceiving, false. And it also deals with lying. Read that again. Leviticus 19:11. You shall not steal, neither deal falsely. Mistreating the brothers. Dealing falsely, mistreating brothers. Okay, neither lie one to another. And there again, when you lie to someone, you're deceiving them as well. You're stealing. Okay? You're not a prime example to follow. Okay? Give me Ephesians 4:25. And when you get a chance, look that up for yourself. The word stealing goes deeper into just stealing. It means deceive, misleading. Ephesians 4:25. Ephesians 4:25. Wherefore, putting away lying, because when you're lying, you're deceiving someone, you're stealing the truth from them. When you're lying and you're stealing the truth from them, you're stealing the good example from them as well. But it also means actually stealing money from someone too, stealing property from someone too. Because when you're stealing property from someone, and you're stealing somebody's car, or you're stealing somebody's jewelry, you know what I'm saying? When you're robbing somebody, you're stealing. Okay? Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor. And who's your neighbor? Your neighbor is your brothers according to the flesh who are Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Not your next door neighbor who could be an Edomite, not your next door neighbor who could be a Moabite, not your next door neighbor who could be a damn Ishmaelite. Your brothers and sisters according to the tribe who are Israelites, who pertain to adoptions, the glory, and the covenants. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, his brother, for we are members of one another. Now go back, jump to verse 15, Ephesians 4:15. But speaking the truth in love. Because if you love your brother, you're not going to steal anything from him or any of his possessions or his property. Okay? You know what I'm saying? May grow, but speaking the truth in love, may grow up into him in all things. Into him. Who's into him? Grow up into him. Grow up learning and adopting and living in examples of Mashiach Yahushua, the deliverer. May grow up into him in all things, which is the head, even Yahushua. So those will be examples. You're living out, you're carrying out the examples of Yahushua. You become one with him. Okay? Now Colossians 3:9. I looked up that word. I can't look it up now. I don't have the tools. But I looked up that word still. And it led to deceive and all that other stuff. So it's two folds. Okay, Colossians 3:9. Where's that at? Colossians chapter 3, verse 9. Lie not one to another, stealing from one another property, deceiving one another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. Right, because when you come into Mashiach Yahushua, you are a new man. The old man is gone. When you really into these scriptures like you're supposed to be, whether you be here a year or whether you be here 2 years, whether you be here 5 years, if you following the examples of Mashiach Yahushua, you're going to grow in this. And when we mean grow in this, you're going to put on the whole full proof of following the examples of Yahushua. Okay? Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. The old man is dealing with lies, deceit. You know what I'm saying? Mistreatment of brothers. Falsely talking about brothers. See, and that also is a commandment too. Bearing false witness about a brother. You know what I'm saying? Those are all connected with one. They all lead to one another. They all connected to each other. That's why they say usually when you break one sin, you break them more. So when you steal, you deceive. Okay? Lie, Colossians 3:9. Lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. You're not doing the old things no more, the things according to the world. You're not being a nigga. You're not being a 2/3. You're being a brother. You know what I'm saying? And here's another example. Brothers always talk about, I'm talking about 2/3 of Israel. When you watch how they deal with each other disgustingly, filthily. You know what I'm saying? And at one time, we was all part of that. Doing sneaky, devilish, wicked shit. Stealing and being a deceiver. But you know the first thing we would do when we come home? Think about this. The first thing, we got locked up, right? We was doing bad. The first thing a brother would do when he come home, when a brother come home from being incarcerated, our brother would give him a package. Yo, get on, son. Like he giving him a blessing. Like, here's 40 grams. Here's a half a gram. You know what I'm saying? Get on, bro. Get on, man. Love all day. You know what I'm saying? That's not love. That's being deceitful. That's stealing away your brother's freedom. And the freedom I'm talking about being apart from being incarcerated. Because even though we are in this world, we still don't have freedom. We're still prisoners. But that's also sending your brother to fall back into these nets. You know what I'm saying? Which is, the nets is these traps, which these societies set up for us. When you read, when you study, the Bible tells you that, and when you look at the 13th Amendment, all these traps is there for the nation of Israel, Latino, the so-called African man, so-called tribe of Gad man. All these traps is built for us for our downfall. So when a brother give you a package and say get on, he's really trapping you up. Okay? And then it says in verse 10, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge. When you put on a new man, you're not being deceitful. You're not going to think about stealing your brother's property or stealing anything from your brother. Because if your brother have and he know you don't have, he going to give it to you automatically. That's the love for thy brother, which is the second commandment, unlike the first commandment, which is love thy father, Yahweh B'Shem, Yahweh Shah, with all your heart. And the second unto liking it is what? To love thy brother. Okay? It says, lie not one to another, seeing that you have put off the old man with his deeds. Verse 10, and have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge, after the image of him that created him. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. So, that's just meditation on the commandments, because it's more than 10 commandments. I believe it's 613 commandment laws to be exact. But that's just something to ponder on. When you look into these words and you look into the root words and you meditate on those words, when you're stealing, you're also deceiving somebody. You're mistreating them. You're guiding them the wrong way. And that's not an example of Yahweh Shah. Okay? Brother Shema, behold, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Shalom.
So now you're all working against me? You want to know where the bombs are or not? It's my responsibility. You want me to win or you want him to win?
H, put the knife down.
Oh, so you made a choice. You want him to win. Selfish. This is not about you. This is war.